There's just something about the Scandinavian dream home that really grabs you. It's this amazing aesthetic, right? All clean lines, natural materials, and this deep sense of being in harmony with the world around it.
I mean, we've all seen pictures like this. These incredible homes that look like they've literally grown right out of the landscape. It's as if they were always meant to be right there, nestled among those snowy pines.
And what's so wild is how they pull it off. They take these raw, natural materials, wood and stone, and they pair them with these huge glass walls. It creates this incredible feeling where you're totally cozy and protected, but at the same time, the space feels completely open and boundless.
But here's the thing. Behind every single one of these absolutely breathtaking homes, there's a lot more going on than just brilliant architect or a pretty view.
So, how do they really get built? Well, the answer is kind of fascinating. It's all based on this framework of rules. And the amazing part is, instead of killing creativity, these rules are actually what make it all possible. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's explore the secret recipe behind so many of these houses. Norway's technical building regulations, which everyone just calls TEK17. Now, I know what you're thinking: regulations, red tape, boring. But this isn't that. Seriously, think of it more like a comprehensive guide, a set of principles designed to make sure every building is safe, super efficient, and lives in real harmony with its environment. So, how does a rulebook actually translate into the lines and shapes of a home? Well, it all starts with the most fundamental question you can ask. Yup, how big can you build? Before an architect can even think about drawing a single line, they have to know the limits of the land. It is the first and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. And the code provides this really simple but incredibly powerful formula called %BITA. All it does is define the maximum percentage of a plot that a building's footprint can cover. This one little calculation sets the entire canvas for the whole project. And right here, you can see that connection come to life. The diagram on the left, which adds up the house and the garage, directly shapes the beautiful real-world home on the right, making sure it sits just perfectly within its boundaries. It's the plan and the reality, side by side. All right, so we've got the footprint sorted, but what about height? Well, it's not just one number. TEK17 uses two super precise measurements to define how the building looks against the sky: Gesamtheide, which is the eave height, and Moneheide, the ridge height. Let's break down how this works. First, the rules show you how to find these basic measurements, even on tricky, sloped ground. Then, they show how those same rules apply to all sorts of roof shapes, whether it's gabled or totally flat. And the results? Those two simple, abstract lines are what end up sculpting the final, dramatic shape of the incredible house you see here. Now, here's what's so smart about these regulations. They're not just some generic checklist. They are specifically designed for Norway's dramatic and, let's be honest, often challenging landscape. So the code gives you clear formulas for building on slopes. This makes sure that homes are not only stable, but that they're also measured fairly against the terrain, no matter how steep it is. You've got the theory on one side and the absolutely beautiful practice on the other. And this respect for nature goes even further. For instance, the code requires a sikkerhetszone, basically a safety zone around rivers. This is brilliant because it protects the home from nature, and at the same time, it protects nature from the home. So here's the crucial point. When you add all these rules together, the ones about size, height, and placement, they become something much more than a building code. They actually create a whole philosophy of design. And there is no better example of this than the iconic grass roof. I mean, look at this. On the left, you've got its ancient, traditional form, and on the right, you see a sleek, modern version. It's the perfect marriage of history and today, and both are built on the exact same idea. And it's not just for looks, not at all. The grass roof is a living, breathing part of the home. It gives you incredible natural insulation, it manages rainwater, it supports local plants and insects, and it literally ties the building back to the land it's sitting on. And that really brings us to this idea. It shows us that true architectural freedom doesn't come from just ignoring the rules. It comes from understanding them so deeply that they actually become a source of creativity, a guide to making something truly special. In the end, what you realize is that these rules don't limit what's possible.
They actually provide the blueprint for creating homes that aren't just beautiful, but that feel like they truly, deeply belong right where they stand. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We've seen how this thoughtful framework creates homes that are woven right into the fabric of the landscape. So the rules provide the canvas. The only question left is, what would you create?